Hey, what's up everyone? Josh with Fitness 253 here for another real world meal prep. Welcome back to the kitchen. You know what we're about to do. We're about to prep something good for the week, and behind me here I have the makings of a homemade white chicken chili, and we're gonna put some rice in it too just to make it that much more hearty. I'm gonna show you what I got going on. Behind me on the stove we have the chicken poaching right now, and you say, why poach? Why not grill? Maybe some of you guys out there don't have a grill, or you live at home with your parents and they don't have a grill. This is gonna be easy. It's gonna be a 1 to 2 pot recipe, but I got the chicken poaching behind me. That's gonna cook while I explain what other ingredients we got going on. So this one is gonna be pretty simple, just like the other ones. We're gonna have the seasoning. We got taco seasoning, pepper, salt, garlic, and you know we're gonna make it spicy by putting some serrano peppers in there. Green beans are gonna be the side dish along with even more rice. And there's our white beans. We're gonna put a diced tomato and garlic in there as well, just to give it that much more flavor, and chicken broth. All of these can be substituted for stuff that you do like. If in fact you happen to want a different spice in there, easy enough, just substitute it right in. So what I did in between this last little cut was get the green beans going on the stove. They don't take very long at all. You're just looking to get them for like a 5-minute boil, just to get them blanched, which means they're gonna get nice and cooked, and they're gonna get a really good green on them. And then we're gonna strain them. Those are super easy. The chicken is poaching away right now. This is almost done. I don't season the chicken at this point, because if you throw some salt and garlic and all that onto the poaching chicken, and then you dump it out, and you put the sauce in, and then you season the sauce, you're gonna end up with either a really salty dish, a really garlicky dish, like that last one I put a lot of garlic in, or you're just gonna over season it, and that's not any fun, because if I learned anything from my peanut butter fiasco, is you wanna go subtle and then add stuff towards the end, because you can't take any of that spices back. Now, just because we're poaching this chicken doesn't mean it has to be boring. It's definitely gonna get a lot of good spices from both the spice we chose and the white bean chili homemade that we're gonna make right now. Just a little secondary thought is you don't want to poach it completely through. We're going to cook a lot of it in the actual chili as well to get those flavors really combined. So destroying it like a lot of these meal preps, because the last thing you want is ridiculously dry chicken for your meal prep you have to eat all week. But I'll catch you at the next step, which is going to be pouring out the chicken, getting a good sear on it, and combining all the other ingredients. Like we said previously, we're going to dump the chicken right back into the pan. And we're gonna get a good, nice little brown on it with no oils or fats. That way you don't add in those calories. And while that's getting a good little brown, we're gonna start opening up all this and getting all that really good flavor combined with all the chicken and the green beans when they're about to get finished here. Flash forward a bunch of tedious stuff. We're gonna start assembling it. So we're gonna go and add a little bit of chicken broth. That's gonna add a bunch more of that really good chicken flavor. That happened to be the low sodium one. If you're watching your weight and you wanna avoid a lot of that water retention, sodium or salt is the definite key to keeping that water retention really low. So that's gonna be good here. Now we're gonna start adding this. I'm gonna drain some of the liquid out of the beans. We already got a lot from that chicken stock. No need to add a ton more. And of course, the tomatoes. Now I said it's gonna be a white chicken chili. It's gonna be a little opaque. It's not gonna be completely white like the traditional one, but hey, I don't really care as long as it tastes good. Now that's a lot of the canned ingredients. We're gonna save the cream cheese. Now I know you're wondering, cream cheese, why? But I saw on a recipe a good hack to having really creamy chili is a little bit of cream cheese towards the very end, not at the beginning. But we're gonna add in the spices. And you know I like black pepper. Again, with that low sodium, it's a little bit of salt, nothing crazy. You can always put your desired amount of sodium at the very end. Like I said, you can't take it back. we're gonna add a little bit of oregano leaves. Almost had the lid come off on that one. A little bit of Italian seasoning. Of course, garlic, using the correct side this time. Not like last time, which was crazy. And of course, 2 of those serrano peppers, add in a nice little heat to it. And just a little bit of taco seasoning. Now, I think this gives it a good rounded flavor. Definitely a good one to throw in. Nothing crazy. Those green beans are scaring me on the other side. Hopefully I have time to get to them. Boom, easy enough. Give it a good stir while we turn this down. Already, it's been in there for like 3 minutes and my kitchen smells amazing right now. So we're gonna get that and we're gonna pull the green beans off, burners off, bringing it to a boil, nothing crazy. Now we are gonna put the green beans off to the side. They're just gonna chill out until we get the rest of the meal prep assembled. Now, one of my favorite parts about meal prepping is it gives me a chance to talk to you guys. The main thing I want to talk about right now is being overweight. Now, I hate when people say that dude's fat or she's fat. Like, fat's just a type of lipid storage on your body. It has nothing to do with what you look like. It doesn't define you. And we're gonna talk about, while being a little bit overweight is not a bad thing. So, if you've ever seen a bodybuilder or a Mr. Olympia when they are out of season or when they're not on stage and they're training, they eat an unreal amount of food and they put on fat. And they don't just get lean to 300 pounds, they put on a little bit of fat, but it's specific fat. It's built upon a high protein, high actual functioning carb diet that isn't full of empty calories, it's not full of alcohol, it's not full of stuff that's just gonna be bottomless carbs, which we'll talk about in maybe a different video. But they get fat. And I know I said I don't like to use that, but they put on weight and they become overweight. So why do they do that, you ask? I mean, why would you put all this effort into getting really shredded and just getting as big as you can get and then go ahead and get overweight? Now, that is because your body needs fuel to build muscle. And although it's a myth that you use body fat to build muscle, the one does not transfer into the other. One is just a storage of fuel. If you're overweight, I can tell you right now, it's kind of a good thing if you're a fitness-oriented person. That is because you already have that built-in storage of fuel. Now, combine this with a well-engineered diet that is good for you and an exercise regimen, and I guarantee you will make rapid growth in both lean body mass and fat loss. That is because if on my body type, I have to eat in order to get that calories, and I have to put on fat and I have to put on fat to get there. Now, you're already at, just call it a bulking phase. You've already bulked, perhaps badly, but you've still bulked. Now, you can use all of that inherent fuel as just a turnover rate to build that lean body mass and then get that physique you've always wanted. If you have any questions or maybe you'd like me to explain it a little bit further, I'd be happy to. Hit me up on Twitter. You can always find me there. One thing to take into account as the rice is microwaving behind me is that you want the liquid of the actual chili to be slightly runny, because once you throw that rice in there, all of those juice from all of like the stuff we put in, the tomatoes, the chicken broth, all that really good flavor, that's gonna get soaked up and it's gonna tighten that entire dish. And if you reduce this really deep right here and you put the rice in, you're gonna end up with like brick chili, and you definitely don't want that. So just take that into consideration. It's gonna take a little bit of playing. I'm not Rachel Rice, I don't know how to cook that well. I just wing it. That is the finished result. Just waiting for the last little bit to come to temperature, and then we're gonna jump into it fully plated. One thing that is awesome about all of this meal prep is that it's always in flux. If you don't like chicken, or if you're just sick of chicken already, make it with pork. Find a really low fat pork option and then go with it. I like rice right now, I'm not over it, but if you're over rice, make it with pasta. Find a low carb protein pasta like I did in the spaghetti video, and boom, just like that, you got another easy meal prep. Any of this is in constant flux, and make it your own, add your own spices. If you like it a certain way, do it a certain way. That right there is the finished result. We have our green beans here, we have our white bean chili with rice, which as you can see makes a heaping portion. and I even have a lot more extra left over, but we're gonna snack on that. Now, your vessel of eating is all on you. I like to always put, if I'm making this type of consistency of something, I put a tortilla and I fold it in there. If you've ever made a paper football, you'll make it fit. That's exactly what I did. That makes it a lot easier to eat, and frankly, it adds a little bit of flavor on top. I'm gonna finish these with a little bit of salt and pepper just on top, maybe a little garlic seasoning, but that is it. Meal prep done easy. As always, I appreciate you guys for taking a look at this. The last one I did on the cheat meal prep with the cinnamon rolls and bacon got a lot of views, and that's really cool. It's fun to do one of those little cheat things because you got to reassure people, you know, grinding is fun and going to the gym is fun, and it's all just a pain in the butt and it's all a process. You got to have fun. You got to cheat a little bit on your diet and live a little. You know, it's that, like I said earlier, it's that soul gains, and you know, that's okay. But right back to the grind right after enjoying yourself. And this is going to be our prep for the week. 6 meals down, that's going to be 3 days of meal prep, and then back at it again with something different. If you have any suggestions, please hit me up on Twitter. I'm just over 200 followers right now as of this morning, which is ridiculously cool. If you see this video on YouTube and you haven't followed me over on Twitter, make sure you do. When I get to 250, I'm gonna do the 60,000 pound challenge, which is 60,000 pounds of lifting in upper or lower body day in 60 minutes. And it's definitely a grind. I've seen a few people do it and it is rough. They chose to do on a particular muscle group. I'm gonna do it on an overall, that way, you know, we get that pump at the same time, upper body, lower body, which is my jam. But I appreciate you guys for watching. Hopefully you watch till the end, because these are definitely one that is good to do. It's gonna be a lot of low carb stuff. I'm not gonna tell you the exact breakdown because your minor tweaks are gonna adjust that, and I'll let you be goal specific on what you wanna add, what you wanna take away. But as always, thanks for watching and take it easy.